The truth about Nigeria. If you didn't know that this country was basically owned by Vaseline and that it houses more languages and ethnic groups than the whole of Europe, this video is probably for you. Happy Nigerian Independence Day. It's been 61 years since Nigeria gained its independence from the British Empire, and I think that warrants a celebration. So I will be going over some less known facts about the giants of Africa. This is the truth about Nigeria. So did you know that Nigeria is the most populated country in the continent of Africa? There's over 200 million people living there. This makes it the 7th most populous country on earth. It's also grown rapidly at around 3.2% a year. This means that by 2050, there could be well over 400 residents. This stat has led the nation to be called the Giant of Africa, because even though it's far from being the biggest country by landmass, it's actually number 14 in that category. It just trumps everyone else by population. The second most populous country in Africa is Ethiopia, with almost 115 million people, but even then, that's pretty far off from Nigeria. Nigeria houses over 250 ethnic groups, and over 500 languages are spoken there. The most populous being the Hausa, Fulani, Yoruba, Igbo, Ijaw, Kanuri, and Tiv. The official language is English, but that's because it was previously a British territory. The British are also responsible for the creation of Nigeria. All the ethnic groups were essentially their own smaller nations until they were just grouped together because of colonization. Did you know that Nigeria was named by the British journalist Flora Shaw? She was married to Lord Frederick Lugard, who was the governor of the soon-to-be country. She got the idea of the name from the River Niger, which runs through the country. During slave trade, the south of Nigeria was part of a region called Guinea, and the north was part of an area named Negroland. Again, these names were made by colonizers. As of 2021, a new name was proposed for Nigeria, the United African Republic, or UAR. This has caused a lot of controversy. Personally, I think it's a decent name and it does accurately represent what Nigeria is, but at the same time, I don't think it would flow well with the national anthem. The original Nigerian national anthem, Nigeria We Hail Thee, was also written by a British person. This faced a lot of backlash for obvious reasons, and it was promptly changed to Arise O Compatriots. Did you know that Unilever, the company that owns Vaseline, Magnum, Dove, Lipton, Lynx, and many other brands, also owned Nigeria? Back in the 19th century, palm oil was becoming a very sought after resource. Britain was going through the Industrial Revolution, and palm oil was a necessary asset in helping lubricate their machines, amongst other things. A man named George Goldie saw potential in a certain part of West Africa, and in 1879 he created the United African Company, which was then named the National African Company, and eventually the Royal Niger Company. Goldie basically tricked the local chiefs in the area into signing agreements, which would mean that his company would have exclusive rights to export palm oil. So essentially, those who were native to the land were banned from exporting their own oil. Some of the chiefs who attempted to export their own resources in their own land were exiled. There was actually a small war as a result of this. To make a long story short, the Royal Niger Company sold Nigeria to Britain for £865,000, and they became absorbed into Unilever. Britain then held ownership of the country until 1960, in which they gave Nigeria the independence. Surprisingly, despite being independent, it remains part of the British Commonwealth. This is why you still see them at the Commonwealth Games. Unfortunately, after Nigeria gained its independence, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. A civil war soon ensued. This was initiated by the southwestern area, who wanted to become their own country, Biafra. The war lasted from 1967 to 1970, with the Biafran state ceasing to exist officially. But even to this day, you will still find many people in that region who want independence. One of Africa's oldest and most prosperous civilizations were the Nok. This kingdom was situated in modern-day Nigeria, and many of the artifacts from this era date back to as early as 15,000 BC. I plan to make a video on them alone, So you should be excited for that. Another prosperous civilization that emerged in Nigeria was the Benin Kingdom. They were famous for their impressive Benin bronzes. They were a group of incredibly detailed metal plaques and sculptures. They became so famous for their works that even Europeans traded with them. Again, keep a lookout for a video on them. Africa's largest film industry is situated in Nigeria. It's called Nollywood. It's actually the second largest film producer in the world, only behind Bollywood. And I will say this, if you look at the movies that were being made 10 to 15 years ago compared to now, it's light and day. I do have a sense of nostalgia for the older stuff, but the newer movies are just so much better. You can find some decent Nollywood films on Netflix. Nigeria also has a lot of superstitions. If you've grown up in a Nigerian household, you have probably heard of some of these. One that I always heard as a child was not to eat with my left hand. My mother would always tell me off for doing so when I ate pounded jam, eba, or amala. This is because the left hand is seen as unclean, because in Nigeria, the left hand is for cleaning your bum bum after you do a poo. It's also seen as disrespectful to use your left hand to receive gifts and shake hands. In some Nigerian cultures, eating in the dark is forbidden because you could be given room for the dead to eat with you. Eating food from the floor is also forbidden because it means the devil has eaten it already. Apparently, sleeping face up is not good because spirits could have easy access to your body and soul. And black cats are witches, but I don't think that superstition is exclusive to Nigeria. Did you know that there's a town in Nigeria that has the highest birth rate of twins in the world? It's called Ibo, Ora. Many of the locals believe their consumption of yams and okra leaves cause this phenomenon, and some experts believe that certain yams contain a hormone that causes multiple ovulation, though at this current time period there's no concrete evidence to suggest why this happens. If you're African American, Afro-Latina, Afro-Caribbean or Afro-Brazilian, your ancestors may have been Nigerian or have been part of a Nigerian tribe. This is because of the Atlantic slave trade. Although not all slaves were West African, a large majority were. The Igbo and Yoruba were two of the largest ethnic groups to be taken to the Americas and parts of Europe. Aside from genetics and history, this is evident from their culture and religion. Practices such as voodoo and Santeria were inspired by the Yoruba religion. And the Nigerian meat pie was a clear inspiration behind the famous Jamaican patty. And since we're talking about food, let's talk about some famous Nigerian dishes. Jollof rice is the national dish. It's basically rice cooked in a pepper sauce. It's eaten everywhere in West Africa, but the Nigerian variation is the best. I'm not debating this, sorry, argue with your fridge. Fufu, amala, and eba is this type of food called swallow. It's made from things like gari, cassava, or plantains. It has a doughy consistency and it's eaten with sauces like egusi, pepper stew, okra, and efo. There's moi moi, which is a bean cake. There's chin chin, which is like a deep fried mini biscuit. Puff puff, which is a deep fried donut. Kuli kuli is a hard peanut biscuit thing. Suya is this amazing seasoning that goes on any meat. Pepper soup is a spicy soup which will cure any cold instantly. Fried plantains and boiled yams are staples. Kilishi is basically spicy beef jerky. Ogi is Nigerian porridge. Wara is Nigerian cheese made from curdled cow's milk. And I'm going to stop there because talking about Nigerian cuisine is making me very hungry. If you know anything about the skincare industry, then you may have heard of shea butter. Although it seems to be getting a lot of attention in the West now, it was created hundreds of years ago in West Africa, particularly in countries such as Ghana, Benin, Togo, and Nigeria, where it is still handmade today. It is created from the seeds of a shea tree. I would definitely recommend that you get your hands on some raw, unrefined shea butter. It has so many hair and skin benefits. If you have dark spots, dry skin, fine lines, and dehydrated hair, shea butter will do the job. Wait, I've got some now and I'll show you how it looks. So this is like how it looks. This is the new one that I bought recently. And looks like this, like a butter consistency. Whoops. You just blend it in, fam. You just blend it in. It's got so many benefits. You should definitely use it. African black soap is also made in Nigeria. African black soap is an all-natural cleanser that is made from several oils and burnt cacao pod ash. It has many antibacterial, antiviral and antifungal properties. It helps treat acne and it's naturally exfoliating. You can easily get some online. Just make sure you check the ingredients list. I think Dudu Osu is the most famous one. Palm oil is widely used in Nigeria. The topic of palm oil can be a very controversial topic for some because of the unethical ways it's exported. This happens mainly in South America. In Nigeria, it's mostly done ethically, and unlike most parts of the world, the more pure version is favoured. If you ever want to try pure palm oil, make sure it's red. It tastes amazing when cooked. And lastly, Nigeria has been known to have a feud with its colonial brother, Ghana. Whether that be the Jollof Wars or arguments as to who has a better football team, the two have a rival that has gone on for decades. At the end of the day, it is never that deep. So if you see a Nigerian and Ghanaian arguing, just stay out of it, okay? Siblings argue sometimes. I will say this, Ghana's obsession with boiled egg is weird. Someone needs to explain it to me. And this is it for the video. I hope you learned something new about Nigeria. If you didn't know, I am part Nigerian, so it was cool talking about, you know, the motherland. Anyways, happy Nigerian Independence Day. Have a great day. Like, share and subscribe. I can't believe I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers. But yeah, bye.